in the suburbs of Melbourne, carved into the landscape of Australian motorsport, lies a circuit where speed meets history. A place where legends have been made and mistakes remembered. Welcome to Sandown Raceway. It's old school, fast, unforgiving. A front straight that begs for bravery. Turn one, heavy braking, elbows out, and no room for error. The back section, narrow, bumpy, and lined with curbs that punish the greedy. And the famous Dandenong Road corner, quick, technical, and ready to ruin the perfect lap in an instant. Tonight, these GT3 machines roar to life for round 7 of the Aussie Sim Racing Championship. That's 60 minutes. It's flat out. Pit lane politics are plenty. Pure racing between man, machine, and momentum. These cars thrive on precision, aerodynamic grip, meeting V8, V6 thunder, and at Sandown, there's no hiding behind strategy. It's about rhythm, commitment, and control. The track won't forgive you, but it will reward the brave. 1 hour, high-speed warfare. One chance to master the circuit that time has forgotten. This is round 7 of the Aussie Sim Racing Championship. This is Sandown Raceway, and you're watching it live on Simsational TV. Let's motor!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Me graphics just took a big old dump there, but yes, indeedy, race fans, rev heads and rubber-burning renegades, welcome to Simsational TV. It's round 7 here at the Aussie Sim Racing GT3 Challenge. Proudly pumped into your eye sockets here at Simsational TV. We are the home of Australian sim racing broadcasting and the spiritual temple of throttle-twisting tomfoolery. Tonight, we are trackside at the sacred Sandown Speedway, or Speedway of Speed. There's too many speeds there, ladies and gentlemen. But Zach gave you the warm down before. It is an absolute cracker. Tonight, of course, in the commentary bunker and bravado and bad decisions, Zach O'Reilly is joining me, a man best known for attempting to microwave a racing helmet to soften the padding. This is the very same unit who once led a warm-up lap only using the rear-view mirror because he likes the challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the man, the myth, the legend, Zach O'Reilly, joining me in the commentary box tonight.
Thank you very much, Christopher. Always a pleasure to be with you. And I did that lap in reverse too, my way. So a bit of a hack and still set a lap record in the reverse gearing department. But nice. It's a pleasure to have you with me. And this man commentating alongside me, he knows how to call racing. He just slots right in and calls all the action with any sort of precipitation coming off his brow. Is just leaking talent, is the man Christopher Markle Munro. That's not his real nickname, ladies and gentlemen, but he knows how to go about it. But we'll endorse it for now, and it is Sandown, and a test for GT3 cars nonetheless here. This circuit here is really, really bumpy, but also at the same time, those curbs are an absolute nightmare. You can see the guys just climbing over them whichever way they possibly can, but it's going to endure some beautiful racing here tonight, Christopher. And I cannot wait. 60 minutes coming our way very, very shortly. And with Sandown, it's a circuit that we love to go around. Tell you what, it's hot out there, 22 degrees, partly cloudy as well. Just a bit of a sunny sort of track day here for the boys. 54 temperature on the tarmac. Wow. So those tyres will be as hot as a dog's dinner by the end of it coming out of the microwave. Qualifying is 20 minutes. And that will be coming up shortly with the race, the feature race. 60 minutes of hardcore action coming everyone's way here in viewership land. Christopher Munro, I cannot wait.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. A 60-minute affair for the boys out there. We've seen a few 2 race weekend night things, half an hour of each. Now it's time to put the endurance pedals on. Oh, goodness me. Off to a fantastic start here. It's Tuesday night, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the fray. As you can see, speaking of that, look at those two going side by side out of the pit lane to start their qualifying campaigns. But while they all jostle for position now on this tiny little circuit, there's quite a few GT3 cars out there as well. So we'll see how they fare around. Let's have a look at the championship standings here, folks. Dan Smith is out on top with Cookie, the chef, and the Fallon man still there in third position somehow after missing last round. So doing a great job there, and he's back in the field this time as well. We've got Eccleston there in fourth position, Smith, Ferber, Cairns, Green, Budge, and Ash Rogers rounding out the top 10. And you can read yourselves for the rest of the field because, Zacco, there's quite a few of them.
Oh, well, there is. And you can see them how they all start to just tighten up. You've got two people in Justice and White on even points there, and Lachlan Bell in 14th, only 1 point in front of them. So there's some real estate going on there. In the final standings of the list, if we can get to them, there they go. Then it just starts to spread out a little bit more. But I'll tell you what, old Moneybags Payrack, he has not been around, but when he has been around, he's been relatively good. He's been up there. So if old Moneybags can get up there again, for sure, we'll see him come back to it. But a bit of inside information from the midweek rumble since last Tuesday night. The criminal, and we like to call him Luke Fallon, has upgraded to triple 27s.
Ooh.
And that will make him equivocally 3 times as quick as he ever was.
Yeah.
That is the excuse that he has got. If he isn't, I will give him an absolute pasting on the screen. But this man here has got no excuses now. Triple 27s, a seat that's come directly out of a Ferrari GT3 race car.
Really?
As well. Yeah, really. Factual,
Wow.
that one. And he'll be finding his way around. Although ergonomically not at the moment, just a little bit out of touch. Hasn't got any padding around the seat, and he's probably just a little bit uncomfortable. But will that deter him from the man who has been leading this championship, as we saw earlier, Dan Smith, flying along there as well? But I'll tell you what, the chef's been going to be hard to beat. He's been very consistent this season, Chris.
Yeah, he certainly has. And just kind of doing it the silent way as well. Hasn't been out there turning heads too much, just silently getting the job done. And that's really how you want to go about your business too. Just, put your head down, start to finish, get a few good podiums and good consistency. What's going on here? A nice little car park here at the end. Someone, go, take the bloody... Who wants to go first? No one does. It's the reminds me of Barcelona F1 qualifying back in the day where they all used to just park up in that the old chicane they put there before the MotoGP track was once again assigned to the calendar. But this is a hot lap here from Luke Fallon. So let's we'll go with someone who is about to start their flying lap. Let's go down the order here. Maybe car 11. Where is car 11? I cannot find it anywhere, but we'll wait till the next lap before we go on board and get a good look at this beautiful Sandown Raceway. Hopefully it's here to stay, but the rumours are it's going to be gone in a few years.
Yeah, it's the old VRC in Victoria has just got their hands on a bit of money, and they're saying we don't want race cars going around here. Let's just focus on the old horses, and that could be it for Sandown. Plus some people moving in to an area where they know that there is a racetrack, but still having a whinge about the noise. Like, honestly and truly, these people just need to, they just, I don't know what they need to do. They need to maybe endorse some sort of ear appliance to put the earplugs on. But speaking of earplugs, this is a car that we love to hear, the V8 rumble of this Mercedes GT3 car, and Luke Fallon has gone to the top already. He's started his opening account with a 108.4. We saw 107s in the practice session early in the week, but let's go on board with him here. Into turn 1 we go. This is the old Shell Repco corner, as they like to call it. The layout has been changed. This chicane was never here, but it has now been put in. So it's turns 2 and 3. It's a quick dive out onto the ripple strip. Going to get yourself out into Arco Corner, or Pertec, as they like to call it these days, depending on the sponsorship, down the back straightaway. You climb all the way up to a good 270 odd kilometres an hour by the time you start hitting the anchors, and it's an uphill blind turn, which is turn 5 coming our way. Massive implications coming through here if you stuff that up, but the tarmac's been added. Fallon just darts it around here with plenty of gutso. Into Dandenong Road we go. It's a tight left-hander. Get that one pointed out the other side. Fire onto the gears. Up into third gear now. It'll be fourth before he gets into the braking zone. Back down to second into the final chicane. This is a very important corner on the track to get right, because it nails you for the rest of this straight, which fires your way out over the Sandown circuit. It's all over in under a minute 10. And Luke Fallon's going to cross the line very, very shortly to set a 1 minute 8.196. That is a benchmark, ladies and gentlemen. That is quick. We need to see those 107s coming through, and the chef has bumped himself into 4th.
Yeah, just doing chef things down there, just quietly. The quiet assassin, the chef, just serving up some poison to the rest of the field here at the moment. But Dan Smith just slotting into 3rd place as well. Kobe Marshall we saw last week out on an absolute flyer, so he is here. And he's going to be qualifying near the front for once. He started at the back of the pack here in the GT3s last week, and that was a sight to behold, getting through the pack in the wet. So tonight, it's a little bit drier out there as well, and an absolutely cracking day there in Sandown as well. The sunlight is dripping down on all of us here. Ryan J. Ferber, though, just getting the power down out of turn 13. Can see what he's going to stop the clock at here. 108.2. He goes to 2nd on the timing tower. Bradley Cairns, the second capital of Queensland, North Queensland, in the Lambo, the lonely Lambo, goes up to the second row of the grid as well.
Yeah, Mr. FNQ into 3rd place. Ferber is really flying. He's not far off. He's only 0.02 of a second away from taking the Criminals P1 there. So very, very tight at the top, and it's not even a tenth between 1st to 3rd. That's it. But then goes Price is Right, slaps it in a thousandth. A bee's dick over the top of Luke Fallon. Then Duffman's come in with a 107.8. So we're on like Donkey Kong here. They're all just starting to get their rhythm in. The Beer Man has come through with the goods, sending pints out to a free crowd out there at the moment. Don't know which beer he likes, but I'll tell you what, if it's in Melbourne, it'll be Melbourne Bitters for sure. But geez Louise, that is a cracker of a time. He's got some traffic to make up, but now they're starting to file through. Where is Dan Smith? He is still in 9th place, a 108.493. He is a good 7/10 off the lead pack at the moment. He's going to come up surely, but cracking stuff here from this man in P1 provisionally now as the qualifying session rounds into the 7th minute down. They've got another probably about 7-8 laps, I reckon, here before they even have to think about the final death. It's a long session, but geez, it gives them plenty of time to get in that rhythm.
Yeah, absolutely. Smith and Fallon both just swapping purple sectors there as well, as Fallon goes and takes P2, and there goes Cookie just following him as well, just less than a tenth behind too. Look at the distances there, covering the top 5 or 6, 7, 8. Actually, the whole top 10 is under a second here at the moment. Absolutely brilliant. Actually, the top 13. And you speak about beer, Zach O'Reilly. I saw in the practice session a livery that really caught my eye. Look at that thing. A very best there in the Aston Martin. Hopefully a good night is ahead of him, because that is the quickest way to a certain commentator's heart.
You can get it racing and you can get it overtaken. I'll tell you what, VB, absolutely on fire. I love this livery as well. Don't worry, Moneybags down dead set last in the championship standings, but that's only because he hasn't been here for the last probably 3 rounds.
Yeah,
and he will be right up there again. He's given a good old flash there as well as he comes down the straight. He's on a fast one. Now I'm here with the chef, just dancing his way over the hot plates there, the chicane, onto the final sector. This Porsche will be pretty towy here at this circuit. It suits these kind of cars. It won't kill you too much in long loaded corners, sweeping right or left-handers. That's where the Porsche tries to kill you, but there's not much undulation here either, so that pendulum effect of the Porsche will not be in effect so much tonight, and they're very quick around here, the Carrera Cup cars in general. So the GT3 is up there, but it's still Duffman. 107.850 is the man, and he's just done a 107.594.
Wow.
So he pipped himself by 0.3 of a second. Boy, oh boy, is this man on fire. I'm telling you, this guy is just coming with age here at the moment, like some fine wine. And I'll tell you what, if anything, Fallon here is probably hoping not to go off like a fish sandwich in the sun, because this man is half a second up the road from anyone.
Yeah, well, let's check on our championship leader back here as well. Dan Smith just sitting in P6 provisionally as well. Mind you, we're just about halfway through this qualifying session right now, so he's still got plenty of time, and he has gone purple in this first sector on this lap, given a bit back on the second sector. We'll see if he's on for an improvement here once he finishes this lap. I think it'll be a slight improvement if he goes across. He does not. No, he does, sorry. Thank you very much. A tenth behind the lead. Dan Smith right up in the mix now.
Oh, right there now. He knows where he is. He's got the rhythm down. He's a man who just decides to practice only when the practice session comes up, to be honest. He only really has an hour between race week to race week of practice. So he just, the old obliviousness is bliss. is definitely the way that Dan Smith goes about it, but he knows exactly what to do. And he is the younger of the two Smiths as well on the racetrack, I've been told. So a bit of inside information there as well. This is the erection. This is V1, and he's sitting down in 15th place. Just pulling it off. He's going to go to the pits and pull over and dart himself back in. He is to
pulling
reset for that one. I'll tell you what, he's pulling off that erection.
Yes.
Full-blooded. Oh massive, massive send. There goes JJ Hamilton. Oh, not Lewis Hamilton style there at all. That's another send into the pits. He goes. He'll come back out for sure. Not the way to go, but sitting in 7th, he'll be happy with that so far. It's very, very tight. Look at the amount of 108s on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. He got from 3rd all the way down to 14th within 6/10 of each other. That is how tight it is around here at Sandown. The race is going to be on. They've got 2 straights to navigate. They've got the Dandenong Road section to dive underneath the brakes as well. Look at the car behaviour here from Agent Smith V2. This is the older of the two, and he's just flying around. Didn't want to take the Mustang, just thought, oh, you know what, I'll go with the BMW, and it's still working wonders for him inside the top 10 with 11 minutes 13 gone in this quali session. Boy, oh boy, in the fair dinkum department, Christopher, it's going to start to heat up.
Yeah, well, it's, the BMW, it's sheer driving pleasure, as they say, and it certainly is. It's one of the friendlier cars out there in the GT3 realm, a sheer pleasure to drive, if you will. So he's got the balance out there in the old BMW, and he's pushing it to the limit here as well. But just getting balked there by the McLaren in front. So back to the drawing board there for Smithy. We'll see if anyone's on a hot lap here at the moment. It looks like no one really, apart from Dan Smith, who has gone quicker in the meantime and posted himself on the pole position. He's sliding it. Look at that Mustang slide there through the final couple of turns on this marvellous circuit down there in Victoria. He crosses the line here. I don't think it's going to be an improvement, but he's still, as I said, 8 minutes to go here, and you can just see the times all the way down. Tighter than a duck's ass, Zach O'Reilly.
Yeah, especially in shooting season too. I'll give you the hot tip. They hear the shotguns, those ducks, and they start to pucker up big time. But it is only 1500ths of a second between Smith and Duffman. He is flying here at the moment. Hacks just come into the chat as well and said, Duffman says, oh yeah, that's for sure. Let's effing go, says the old bin chicane or the bind chicane. I don't know which that one is, but that's Timmy Weston giving us the chat in there as well, cheering on one of him as well. But boy, oh boy, this man, we've said it earlier in the season, the price is wrong, but for the last 4 or 5 rounds, he has started turning into the price is right. Yep. And he's just getting it right at those perfect times. Here is the big man, and he knows how to go racing. I can give you the hot tip. This McLaren is a quick car in certain circuits, and once he gets that thing nailed in, he's right up there too. Look at that smooth, calm, cool, collected line. Breaks it into Dandenong Road, just points it out the other side. A very, very good point here too, just for the viewers at home and yourself here, Christopher. It's the differing lines that these cars take compared to what we're used to seeing at Sandown Raceway. The V8 supercars completely avoid that inside curb. They go wide at the entrance of Dandenong Road, and then fang it in and just try to kiss the apex of that curb and fire it out the other side using all the apex, the tarmac left available to them, on the exit. Whereas these GT3 cars, they tend to just go in, ride that curb, come out the other side, and just make sure that they get their mid-corner to exit speed perfectly bang on. That is the difference between these cars and the other ones out there that we usually see.
Yeah, I mean, the suspension technology and, I mean, overall technology in these cars is just NASA spec compared to the old 1965 trip, bloody Wild West trip to the moon that we saw back in the old days. So fair enough that these curbs are quite nasty at the best of times as well. But when you've got the hardware underneath you and the technology in these cars, then you may as well use it all. And because there are so many makes and models of different variety of vehicles out there, some take the curbs better than others. So I think we'll see cars like the Mustang and all the front engine cars, really, they seem to enjoy eating the curbs up. The mid-engine cars not so much, because they rely on a lot of aero balance to keep that thing stable. So you might see guys in the McLaren, the Ferrari and whatnot maybe avoiding those bigger curbs, but what they lose in those they can make up in other areas. Duffy, though, is, right up behind Dan Smith there on the timing tower. We've got about almost 5 minutes to go. Ferber has joined the party there in the second row. Luke Fallon off after a week off. is just maybe just feeling a little bit of the rust, trying to escape from the clutches there. In the meantime, Milan Pijac has made his way up into the top 5 as well. Where's Matt Munro? Down there in 11th position. He said he was doing 107s during the week, but seems to not be able to put it together here for qualifying.
He'll be right. He'll come better. He gets better as the racing goes on. We saw him at Zandvoort there just charge through the field in the wet. So the great equaliser just showed that he does have the talent to be up there in the top 10 at least. So watch out for him later on. This man here, Bradley Cairns, though, geez. The dark horse of anything for a top 5 throughout this whole season is this big man, and he knows how to do it. The sole Lambo on the whole grid, ladies and gentlemen. No one gives him any setup tips. He has to go and fight it out alone, and I'll tell you what, he does a great job. If he can get himself into a team that just gives him some sort of support there along, or gets other people to convince him to come to the Lambo side, watch out for this man in the future seasons. But it's still a top 10 position for him. He can get up himself into the top 5. Don't you worry about it as the racing goes on. But speaking of Payrac, as you said there, the old moneybags in the pits and the VB livery, Chris, he is still a bit green. And after missing a round or two in the VB livery, he's just doing the best impression of that car with the green there as well. And we'll see what Luke Fallon can do. However, with those ergonomics is a big thing in these qualifying sessions and the racing. You need to have a comfy seat. You need to have those pedals perfectly where you need to, where your muscle memory is in, and you also need that steering wheel to be right where you thought it was. Going from a single screen to triples is a big adjustment, and I will give him some little bit of a lightweight sort of tendency tonight if he can't get the performance done.
Yeah, he could have a little bit of a leeway in the adjustment stakes, trying to get used to those things. It's always, I mean, it was on the back of my mind when back in the day when I went through a series of upgrades in the old sim rig. Oh, am I going to lose my pace? Am I going to be slower? But I'll tell you what, when you upgrade your gear, you are slower for the first hour, and then because it's so nice to drive in there, you spend way more time behind the wheel, and you end up just finding even more pace. So you'll probably find that Fallon is going to be one to reckon with for the rest of the season. Now that he's probably used to those screens and the new bucket seat, unless he's a fat boy like me and can't fit in the friggin' bucket seat. I'm assuming his ass is a little bit smaller than mine.
Oh, yeah, fat man. I'll tell you what, I wish Rabs is going to be around sometime this season. He barged into the old commentary box the other night to do the intro. Didn't get knocked out. Luckily, you saw that I was by myself and just gave me the sympathy vote. Usually he has got the old crowbar or an iron bar of some description in his head. Speaking of which, just giving himself the old Tijuana there. That was just an absolute disaster. And the rear wings popped off that car too. I can't remember who that is at the moment. That would be Nickel. Oh my goodness gracious me, that car is very second-hand. It's even got a locked rear wheel for old insult to injury too. That thing has got more hits than Elton John's rim at the moment. Early on in the qualifying session, not a good preamble to the 60-minute coming his way.
No, at least he can has the luxury of just going back to the pits and getting that fixed up in quick, smart time to just be ready and cherry ripe for the 60-minute event coming shortly. Beaming into your optical nerves, everyone out there in Sensational Land. Orb MM2 says Luke crashed. Oh, we missed that one. Let's see if it's on the old the replay screen. Luke Fallon entered the pit lane. It says I cannot see where it says he went off the track. Let me just have a look.
He's gone off the track there now, just for insult to injury.
Let's see.
That'll be it for him because it's only 1 minute left in qualifying. This is the replay. Oh, look at that aggression. Oh, full on over the curb. Just dances himself. Nearly took off there to the Mercedes-Benz, doing his best impression of a 737, but just into the bunda at Dandenong Road. That's him done for qualifying, though. He's going to have to settle for 4th place if anyone gets in front of him. That is a big question. What can this man do, though? Can Beerman, he set a yellow sector in the first one. He's got to make up some time here, but I'll tell you what, it's so close. There is only literally 43 hundredths of a second splitting himself there, and the big man in front of him, Dan Smith, the last 30 seconds of qualifying coming our way, full sliding into the bunda. Oh, that's full on where the bloody Toyota Racing 86 punted itself and nearly took out an Isuzu D-Max as well. That's his qualifying session done. Full PTSD coming the Marshall's way there. This man on screen, though, the price is right. Has he got the right pace here for this one? He's a set two yellow sectors. Sorry, I'm going colourblind here in the old commentary box.
Yeah,
2 yellow sectors for him. Goodness gracious me. He won't cross the line before the 20-minute ticks over. So if he doesn't improve from here, that is it for him. A 108.085 is what he's going to have to settle for here, and it is because he did a 108.2. That looks like qualifying could be all over and done with here, ladies and gentlemen. Most of them are in the pits, apart from the chef, though. However, no one's setting the timing tower alight.
Nope.
I don't think this man got across. Or did he get across just before that checkered flag went over to the 0 position? The chef man's got one more chance by the looks of it here, Chris, to maybe position himself 2 places up the grid.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll get around in time. I'm not sure if it gives you the leeway of a full lap once you do cross that line, but he's certainly on the push here anyway. If anything, a little bit of extra practice for the chef coming into the 60-minute battle coming up, and it's a good way to give yourself a big haul of points as well, because you just get one shot, M&M style, to take the points for tonight. So if you end up in P3, that's P3 points rather than P3 in race 1, and then you have a disaster in race 2, and it's the aggregate between it. Oh! There's a tie wall there, Sheffo, and he makes his way back into the pits. Chris Townend, the last one, out on the circuit in the 55 Porsche with the nice little kangaroo on the side. I like that livery indeed. And we're at the right place for it as well. Straya, number 55, pushing to the end. He might not get around as well, but he's the last man out there on circuit. So that is the end of qualifying. Dan Smith takes the chockies here tonight. Garth Duffy will line up next to him with Ferber, Fallon and Payrack. Rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, Price is right. Gets himself in the top 10. 6th place for him. Fardor's Queensland in 7th place. The chef in 8th. Agent Smith V2 in 9th place there as well. Will the results come up on the screen? They probably... Oh, they did.
There
they go. There we go. The chef in 8th place. V2 in 9th place. The Copper in 10th place. Lewis Hamilton's love child in 11th. The younger of the 2 brothers in Munro, 12th place. The old Budgie Smuggler, 13th. The old Putting Green in 14th place. Who do better in 15th, and needs to do that for sure in that one. Townend, the end of the village, and the British Pig, and the old Lawyer gets into the top 18 with Bell, Williams, Nickel, Georgeson, Erection, Douglas, Calendar, in excess, Buttle, in 28th place, and that is probably the end of that one, Christopher. I'm pretty sure for all the guys out there, but that's your qualifying done, ladies and gentlemen. The
sure
60-minute coming our way.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's look at the grid. It's the same as the results there of qualifying. So we'll just quickly let everyone at home have a little brief look through the top 28 cars that are out there tonight. Couple of newbies out there on the track as well. Down here is Dominic Buttle. I have not seen his name before. Damon May, Captain Slow's son, down here in 26th position. Yeah. Who else we got? I think everyone else we've seen before. We saw Darren Justice a few weeks ago in the 6-hour Bathurst race.
And the barrister.
Yeah, absolutely. But we are ready for a start here, folks. Get your predictions in. Who's going to take this 60-minute affair? They're going to have to come in for some fuel and some tyres at some point during the race. Your guess is as good as mine. Who's going to take this one out? It's very tight between the top 5, really, top 10. And all it takes is a little bit of a kerfufflery, and anything can happen. You might get a winner from the mid-pack.
You might get one. You might see what Payrack can do. Fallon also, don't count him out too. Cairns can come through with a top 5. No Bernie Eccleston tonight as well. Notable absence for that one too. So Jared is not here, but the lights are up, Christopher. It's time to go. All
right, let's go racing, ladies and gentlemen. Round 7 of the Aussie Racing's GT3 Championship is underway, and let's have a look at them all come firing down into turn 1. Dan Smith leads, but look at the start from Fallon. He goes up into 2nd position. Duffy just hanging it fat around the outside there with Ferber, and Smith slotting into P5 as well. There goes Cookie up the inside of Marshall. That's a nice little move from him in the Porsche, but now they all check up and they go 2 by 2 round the turn 3 3, 4, and into turn 4 and out through the main straight for the first time. You can get a look at them all just weaving up and down. It looks like Fallon just trying to warm up the tyres down the back straight before they dive into turn 6 for the first time with cold tyres. Look at that Mustang on the charge. Who is that? That is JJ Hamilton, Michael Budge, should I say. Let's see how he's going. He's got Matt Munro behind him. And the Aston Martin of Payrac, who's gone down the order to 12th position. Oh, just clattering across the curbs there. I'll tell you what, Budge is not going to, but he needs to here at the moment because it's just proving to be a little bit of a cork in the bottle. But let's go up to the front because the battle's on here for P2. Garth Duffy right up behind Luke Fallon, and that was a pretty nicely, cleanly done first lap from these guys.
Yeah, very well done. Nice and well, I guess what you could call single file, but a little bit of tomfoolery off the start there. Fallon's jumped from 4th into 2nd place, so he can see that Castrol Mustang in front of him, his main target. So he needs to get himself right up there again. How long can he last there, though, with the ergonomics in the sim rig department? Not ideal for him. But Duffy right there, too. You can see now Townend here has just gone a little bit wide there. JJ Hamilton's charging his way through the field. He's gone from 11th up to 9th. In a lap and a half now for these boys. Beautiful, beautiful overtaking manoeuvres could be set up down this straightaway at the section of Sandown that we all love. The uphill, long back straight. You can see the whole track from the grandstand. The guys will be cheering them on in there, but Payrac has had an absolute disaster there. He was right up there in 5th place, now down in 12th. Oh, no, there goes Bunner Road. See you later, Alligator. Sent it into the absolute Kundagonskis. He will be full on, absolutely pissed off with that one. Look at that, checked him up into the barriers he goes. That's a DNF for him. That car is written off. 100% done for him already. Early outage, early casualties, but look at Payrac now. He just got a beautiful run out of the final corner there. But this is on here because we've got Smith and the chef going with each other here too. This is good stuff. Marshall right there as well. In the background, we're looking at it. The price is right. He's trying to get himself. Look at that for a sender end down the inside. Beautiful, beautiful driving. Now we've got 5 cars in view, ladies and gentlemen, on the chopper cam. You can see how they all go about it. Late apexes, early entrances, you name it. They're all filing their way through the turns 2, 3 chicane. Now it's out the other side of turn 4. Then we've got a straight to go. And at the background of this one, it's all happening here. JJ Hamilton's getting himself involved at the back of this pack. We're on Kobe Marshall here. He is looking for a little bit of a threat in front, but I'll tell you what, the price is right, is trying to hound him. Beautiful, beautiful racing. All line astern here. 5 manufacturers all in the one car shot. Not often you see that. Look at them navigate turn 6. Dead on road. Full aggression over the curbs. They're going to get it pulled up there. Oh, massive, massive move in the background. And there goes a Duff Man. No way!
No.
Oh, disaster for Mr. Bloodline TV. There's some battle scars on the front bumper as well of that car too. Have to see how he goes about it in a second, but the price was right. Has got himself up into 6th place where he started in the race. Oh, the poor old Duff Man. A casualty here early on in this race. 3 minutes into an hour session. He will be kicking himself, and into the background goes Payrac into the pits.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for him. He had a bad start as well, and now that's just compounded. Look at the inside run there from Hamilton. Really deep under brakes, and that's just opened him up to the switchback. And Pricey says, I'll have that one, mate. $2.99 at $1 a kilo. Thank you very much. I'll have that. The price is right this time. But up ahead, Dan Smith leads by about 2.5 seconds to Luke Fallon. Who's that? Matt Munro just travelling slowly, trying to get that BMW back to the pits and try to stay out of everyone's way. Doing a good job so far, and I think the nice little gap has opened up behind him to keep that straight and narrow to the pits. But here's the battle up here. I'll tell you what, Price and Hamilton, we saw with a massive big send into turn 1, has managed to gather it back up, and now he's on the attack again. He's got only about 4 tenths to make up, and that's not a lot around this circuit. I'll give you the hot tip. It was a nice little move there, but let's go back and have a look at the crash from the Duff Man back a bit earlier, if I can find it. Yeah, Duffy has gone off the track. Where is it? Oh my goodness. We'll have to come back to that one. Maybe this is it here, folks. He's heading down through. Yeah. Just got a bit too overzealous with the curbing. It can happen in these cars with the downforce, and you get too much of an air gap in between that floor and the road. Anything can happen, folks, but the battle's on. Up and down the field. Where do we look? Kobe Marshall. Actually, we'll go on board with the blimp cam because it's got a nice view of all 6 of these guys going hammer and tong.
As they all stream out just a little bit evenly there, it's a nice even spread between a lot of them. Duffman just ran too wide and too fast into turn 6, and that is what put him off completely. That's why he overshot this curb right there and lost it completely and sent him off into the right-hand side barrier there. That is what happened to the beer man. Unfortunately, as you said, yep, dirty air, Christopher, but also just a bit overzealous in the pace department. The old talent outweighing the ambition, and unfortunately it came a proper to him. But it's getting a bit closer here now. The chef is just starting to be a little bit of a cork in the bottle. He might have Gordon Ramsay in his ear, but if he gets overtaken, I'll tell you what, Marco Pierre White will be looking at him and going, sir. Now, that performance was a little bit below par. Wouldn't you agree? And then he'll absolutely shit himself. And that, at the point of the time, he'll absolutely cross himself up into turn 6 and yeet it into the barrier Duffman style. But he's doing a good job here at the moment. He hasn't got Marco in his ear. It's just Gordon Ramsay shouting at him in an encouragement style. Third place for him with 4/10 of a gap between himself, but 3.5 seconds between himself and Luke Fallon. This is starting to get a bit of a pressure point motors for these boyos now. And you can see Smith, Marshall, Price, Hamilton all wanting to join that party and take away that podium too. Mind you, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of this race, the podium's going to be interviewed, so it could be interesting. Here comes Moneybags, though. Look at him. The two Aston Martins are going at it. That is Cole Douglas there having a good old tussle. But I'll tell you what, the green one here, you can get it walking and you can get it talking. You can even get it racing a car. As a matter of fact, I've got it.
Fast. I've got it. Nah, as a matter of fact, I've got it. Nah.
I've got it. Nah.
Nah.
Yes, but he's coming back through the field. Bayrak had a disaster there for the opening stanza, Chris, and we'll see him back in the top 10 is my prediction for the end of this run.
Oh, look at this, though. Hamilton just made a big mistake there out of the final turn, and now he's just been overtaken by Ryan Ferber, who was one of the quicker guys out there in practice as well. Could not quite put it together in qualifying. He's down for, actually did, he was up there in the second row. He's down to 7th position at the moment, and now just hanging on because Hamilton has just gathered his thoughts and put the old brain back in the box, and he's coming and hunting down Ryan Ferber here at the moment in the Porsche. And we've seen how quick the Mustang is in a straight line over the course of this season too, so don't discount it. But look at this, Cookie just hanging on as well. You can see Brett Smith there in the rearview mirror, very close. You can almost see the whites of his eyes through the windscreen. That's Dan Smith off the road there. We've seen him just way too deep down into turn 9, off into the kitty litter, and this has absolutely just handed Luke Fallon a massive lead out there by 3.5 seconds to Greg Cook, and Smithy just find himself right smack bang in the middle of this battle pack now.
Oh, disaster there for the race leader. He had it all to win, and he's just binned himself Osama bin Laden style out into the rough, and he's gone into the sand, in fact, just to put another impression on him. Goodness gracious me, Dan. That's not the ideal place for him. Kansas' eyes will be lighting up going, what the hell happened to him?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, at the moment, it is the battle of the racetrack here between Ferber and Hamilton. They are really, really going at it between each other. Look at that closing speed. Goodness gracious me, that was an absolute cigarette paper between the two of those cars breaking into turn 4. My goodness me. But now it's all up to JJ Hamilton. He can do the Craig Lowndes and just try to nose himself up there and give you a bit of a nervous time in the braking, but it hurts you on the exit. He's got a little bit of a run here, however, though. He won't do it into this place. Surely not. No, he doesn't. Thank God, because that could have been disaster between himself and Ferber. Boy, oh boy, though, are these boys racing hard. Mustang versus the pirouetting Porsche. And I'm telling you now, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to go on for the next 5 or 6 laps if Ferber can just keep it all together. Fantastic racing. Look at the top from 3 all the way down, pretty much to 8. Is an average of about 0.6 of a second gap between a lot of them. That is how close it is here at Sandown. We've already done like 8 laps here, 9 minutes into this 60-minute session. And I'm telling you now, the racing is like we're on the final 3 laps. This is incredible stuff. Dan Smith has been the biggest casualty out of this one so far, as has the beer man too in Duffy. The 2 Mustangs sending themselves off into Dandenong Road. Bit of coincidence.
Yeah, well, it's an easy place to make a mistake as well in these cars. You're just coming down that hill at so much gusto, and you're so used to having so much downforce underneath you. Well, as I said before, all it takes is just a little bit of that, maybe a little bit of dirty air, maybe a little bit of debris on the track, a little bit of air in between the floor from maybe a little bit too much of the curb being taken, and that can absolutely throw your lines out the window, and you're just pretty much a passenger all the way down into the kitty litter, which is the only thing stopping you from hitting that tyre barrier on the outside there. And you can just see the amount of dust and dirt and crap out on the circuit there, as well as quite a few drivers have visited that little kitty litter section down there at the bottom of the hill. But look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's human caterpillar style here at the moment, headed by Greg Cook. He's got the best seat in the house, just watching all of them line up behind him. And it's always been this way, folks. It's a hard circuit to force an overtake at, especially here at the top level of sim racing, folks, where it takes more than just being in the mirrors of the driver in front. They're not going to go and just make a mistake and give you the position. You really need to force it and drive to the conditions, maybe set it up chess style, thinking 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 corners or even laps ahead to try and set up the overtake on some of these really experienced sim racers out there.
The old chess versus checkers sort of scenario, Christopher, as you love to say. And it is going to be a game of that here. We have got 50 minutes left, just 49, in fact, left in this race. And the boys are putting on a show here early. This is fantastic stuff. And in the GT3 car, where you've got no excuses but downforce limitations, it's a fantastic track to race around on in any category is Sandown. It's a shame that it could be gone from our calendar, just like Oran Park, one of the best circuits in the world, I would say.
Easily.
Also, now it's just a bloody housing estate full of derelicts, and every second Thursday, Centrelink specials coming through, meth labs, bloody drug runners, you name it. Oran Park's turned into bloody meth park.
Yeah.
And,
who's that on?
Oh, that's bad. No, that's a back marker. Okay. We got excited. I just feed off the energy in the commentary box. Christopher just jumped out of his seat there, and I nearly just jumped out of mine too. But look at Price is right. He is doing a fantastic job. The Tassie Devil livery is absolutely tornadoing his way through this grid. He's got Dan Smith behind him, who is just creeping up ever so slowly. Probably a little bit of pride gone out of Smith's brain at this stage, knowing he's down there in 6th. But I tell you what, the old Mr. FNQ in 10th place has got the beer man in front of him. It also came off in the early stages of this race too. So a little bit of red mist maybe, and a bit of unconfidence coming for the 2 Mustang drivers in Smith and Duff. But we'll see what happened here, because I think that was that a redress? It might have been. It was definitely a redress there. Or was it just Bradley Cairns being the typical Farnwell Queenslander going, mate, if you want to win this position, that's all right. Go ahead, mate.
Yeah.
I know my place. And we'll just carry on and sink a couple of tins after the race.
Just all-round nice guy there, just letting him through and saying, you know what, I saw you at the front of the field and my battle is not with you. But the battle was just here with Nick Green getting the better of the better down there into the final turn. That just rolled off the tongue. Didn't even think about that one.
Good.
The experience in the commentary box, ladies and gentlemen. But Nick Green will be on his way up the order now with the extra pace in hand. So we'll look down the order. Lachlan Bell, and who's in front of him? The British Pig here we saw out there on Sunday night in the Gen 3s as well. So a Aussie sim racing regular. These 3 guys now just starting to head it off. We've got Az Rogers at the front, British Pig in the middle, and Ding Dong Bell there in 16th position. All these guys up a number of positions off the start too, so they're all making their way through the field. Who was that? Brittingham just trying to break the toe F3 style. I don't know if it's really going to work that well in the GT3 cars, but we remain to be seen on that one. Meanwhile, it looks like at the back there, Payratch just chiming in on the back of Rogers as well. So a few little spot fires starting to heat up here across the field.
Yeah, the old Black Saturday specials on Sandown circuit coming our way, the old spot fires. Look at this from Payrack, though, just sending it past the erection and saying, mate, you may have the biggest schlong in the old house department, but I got the money, and that's what wins the girls, and he's got that job done beautifully, just sent it around the outside. Knows his place as the old money bags, and he's just loving life here. He knows he can be up there in the top 10. He is not far off. He's only 7 positions away from getting that top 10, and it should be on here. But Brittingham's had a mare. He had a mare out of turn 4 who was just wagging that tail. That Mercedes-Benz GT3 in front of him was the bell behind him, just watching that going, I think I've got the edge over you, Champo. So just keep your eyes peeled and I'll be going for it. But Payrack here is just dead set going for it in 17th place. He'll be on these guys in no time, because that right there in front of him is Ash Rogers in the green Mustang. who is ever getting closer in the foreground of that shot. Now the old British pig will be having a good old think about what he can do. He's got to keep his eyes peeled in the rear vision mirror too. Which way are you going to focus? You're going to focus forward, you're going to focus backwards. Here's the erection here, version 2, going to go for it. Or is Payrack going to be up there before even these three come together? He's flying here at the moment. It's the VB Aston Martin.
Yeah.
Fantastic racing. And he's just setting the timing towers alight here in the foreground. But the battling is all the way here and up the front as well. Between 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th and 9th. It's literally all between 5 or 6 tenths of a second. Again, this DRS train, as you will, is full on just giving us something to look at on the timing tower, Christopher. It's on.
Yeah, it's very deceptive because it's always just lighting up red and going, here's an overtake, lads, lulling me into a false sense of deception. If you will. But these guys are just hammer and tong, and no one has made a mistake yet. That's what I'm saying here, and just setting myself up for a commentator's curse in that department. But it's a cookie, though, has just eked out a half a second gap, which is probably the biggest he's had this whole race with this absolute train behind him. Brett Smith is the next one there, just can't quite get it done. Dan Smith has done the right thing, and Duffman, they've both said, you know what, I've had a gutful, an absolute gutty of this, and pulling into the pit lane early with, only 15 laps on the counter here at the moment, so they will be fueled up to the end to try and find some fresh air to get out there and set some laps. But it's a tight-looking circuit out there as well, Zach O'Reilly.
I apologise here, Chris. I thought I saw the Duff man peel into the pits. He must have just pulled out last minute, just like he has done many a times in his life, I've been told, and decided to keep cracking on, and he has done so. So it is the quickest man on the circuit. Arguably, Dan Smith is the first one to blink and go for it here. 16 minutes into this session, though. Is that out of sync with the rest of these guys? Is he going for a two-stopper versus the one-stop for everyone else? It's something that we'll have to think about here and keep your eyes peeled out there in viewership land. Speaking of which, this is poor from Ding Dong. He has gone wide there. He's come a cropper, and I'll tell you what, the old Moneybags is right next to him too. It's a drag race. This is Mustang versus Aston Martin. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Drag race down from the blink cam. Look at the closing speed. Look at them just nearly bumping and trading places here. It's going to be advantageous to Ding Dong, but he just sends it up the inside and says, no, you can have that one, Payrack. I'll take the P16 away from myself and defend these guys behind. And off in front, there goes the British pig. He's out of this one too. Just keeps it out of the barriers. Rejoins with some nefarious behaviour. And I'll tell you what, that could have been close to disaster there at the back of that with the old Erection V2. Was right up there, nearly getting collected there from the British pig. Boy, oh boy, look at those guys stream out now. 5 cars line astern in the same shot. These guys now know how to do it. Dan Smith has come through with this one. He's got the erection there. There is a man coming out of the pits. I think that was Furby coming out of the pits there as well. But he's just there. He's just got done there by Smith and touched each other. 4-out send there from Dan Smith. I don't know about that one either, Christopher. That looked a bit nefarious. The Furby's just been checked up. He's lost 2 or 3 positions out of that one. Tried to overcut there on Dan Smith. Was working for him, but he just got the old nose chopped off that Porsche. And look at him. He's now a good 100 metres away down the field from the guy who was dead set way back in the old fair dinkum pit to place department. This is on board with Dan Smith. Sends it from 400 metres away and just barges his way through the field. No contact was made. Great awareness there from Furby, mind you. But Jesus, that was something to religiously behold in the fair dinkum holy moly department.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there was. I think there was a bit of contact there in the end with Furby, and I don't think he'll be too happy about that either. Dan Smith obviously pitting early, folks, to get out of that battle that he was in, that absolute DRS train earlier on. And has come out in just another DRS train down the back there and has just tried to assert the dominance down into turn 1, maybe just, certainly outbraking himself, going from one corner to, or one side of the road to the other, and I think making a little bit of contact there with Furby too. So that's one for the stewards. We're not here to make decisions on that, but there's a couple of Mercedes getting stuck in here as well. It's the British pig and Wayne Rogers here getting down and dirty with it. Look at Kyle Rogers. Sorry, who's that behind him? No, that's a blue flag car just getting out of the way as well. So drag race up to the top of the hill. Brett Smith still behind Jeff Price as well up in front. So we'll go to those two guys because they're very close on track. Garth Duffy as well just chiming in behind too. So it's, that opening little stanza there was quite the sight to behold, folks, but now it's all sort of petered out as well with a couple of the guys in that top 6 taking their pit stops early and just trying to get out of there and find some clear air on the track.
Take it or leave it, Furby Meister. We are 2 ex-racers here in the commentary box and part-time casuals at some stage as well, but if it was me, I would have just stuck it on the left-hand side of the circuit there into turn 1 and just block past anyone to come through because that was the difference there. Full switch and gone. There goes Brett Smith. Oh, no goodness me, into the wall he goes as well. That looks like suspension damage too. That car is full right hand down in the rear suspension department. Oh, no. Disaster. One Smith's gone early. The other one's out later in the race. He is absolutely cactus here. He's got no drive. That drive shaft is just hanging off one wheel at the moment. Oh, boy, he's teleported there too as well.
Actually, I like that.
Telepitted.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. I'll keep that one now in the commentary box. We'll have that one, Chris. He's telepitted back, and that is a DNF there, unfortunately, for Mr. Smitho, unless he can get back out. But as I was saying, Furby could have just been a little bit more aggressive there on the defensive department. Smith saw the opportunity and went for it. The old Ayrton Senna style there. If you do not go for an overtake or a gap, you are no longer a racing driver. I think that's what he said, something like that. But anyway, it's the age-old thing. Look at Dan Smith. He's just going for it here. He's got ding-dong in front of him, and he's going to ding-dong his way back out to the top of the chapel and say, I'm ringing the bell here for the wedding day. Done, easy as you like, up on the inside curb, out the other side onto the other curb, and Dan Smith up into P10 on a redemption drive. But the chef now is under pressure. He had 0.6 of a second over the rest of the field, and he's just losing that time by the second here now. He has got Prices right behind him in one of them. There he's got Duffman also trying to chime his way back into this one, but before him at the moment is Marshall. You can see Marshall there just having a good old look on the slipstream, on board with Price. And Price is now just getting out of that dirty air, just killing those down, getting the engine temp down again. And he's just watching these boys, hoping that the chef makes a mistake. And I'll tell you what, if he does, Marshall will be all over him. Price will be all over him too. And it could be all out of the podium for the chef man before he knows it.
It's a tall order to sit there and wait for Cook to make a mistake, because I can't recall him making a mistake this entire season so far. He's just been the pillar of consistency out there as well. And all the guys that were stuck in that train behind him know it. That's why they got out of there and got into the pits, because I think that's their only chance to overtake Cookie is in the pits at this point, because he's just got the measure of them all in that Porsche. Now is probably an opportunity here for Marshall and co to try and chime in here, because he's got a couple of blue flags to deal with, but that Mustang getting out of the way absolutely beautifully, mind you, did not cause any sort of headaches for anyone in that little battle pack. But now look at Price. He's just had a pretty good run out of there, but I'll tell you what, you need to have an absolutely A1 10 out of 10 run to make any sort of move stick in the top end of this field. As I said before, they're very consistent drivers up the front. If you're sitting in for P4, you've got to be pretty happy with finishing P4, if you know what I mean. There's not really much you can do about it in some cases. You just got to wave the white flag and carry on to the end. But oh, look at this. That doesn't mean he's not going to give it a good old red hot crack and stick the nose in there, because these three are now very close, heading up to turn 6 here for the 22nd time.
I'll tell you what, I bet you the chef there was wishing that Mustang didn't get out of the way at that point. He would have loved a bit of suckage down that back straightaway, but he's still surviving here in P2. The old Far North Queensland comes into the pits for 14th. Look at the behaviour over the curbs there too, mind you. That was just insane from all of them. They fully committed, and I think that just hurt the chef there on the exit. He's trying to push too hard into Dandenong Road, and he's making himself vulnerable. This is where Marshall was right up his clacker the last time around as well. He's just got to focus on braking a little bit earlier there as the chef man and get himself pointed out the other side cleanly, because this gap is just going to ever decrease down the front straightaway. The old slipstream and the dirty air is not negated at the moment. They're getting a whole punch from that Porsche in front of them. Are these two drivers behind him? It is fantastic racing. They're going about it cleanly and fairly. Oh, that looked a little bit wide there from the chef there. He just pulled it up at the last moment coming out of turn 1. Turn 2 and 3 to navigate. Come over the curbs. Get yourselves pointed up. Just avoid that outside curb if you're a Porsche driver. Ferrari doesn't matter because they're mid-engine versus rear. So the pendulum effect is not on. Now he's thinking about it. Here is Marshall. He's got a little bit of a gap. 3.5 tenths is the gap now. It's ever decreasing because he's in that hole punched by that Porsche in front of him. It's going to come down to about 3 tenths of a second dead on by the time they come to the braking zone here. Now it's 2 tenths on board on Chef's car. You can see that Ferrari just ever edging so much closer. He's taking my advice there as a chef. He's going to fall. Look at that. That is what happens when you come into a corner early and power out the other side. You've got 4 tenths of a second now between the rest of your drivers. That is what you need to do, chef, lap after lap, and it's just going to negate that chess player behind you, trying to play checkers with you. And I'm telling you now, beautiful racing from these three. It is fantastic. Porsche, Ferrari, McLaren, P2, 3 and 4.
It's a defensive masterclass, folks, and for those playing at home, when you hear people talk about slow in, fast out, that is exactly what they are talking about. Just brake of maybe 2-3 meters earlier than you would usually. Make sure of all things you get to that apex first, then you can apply the power even earlier than you normally would, just slingshotting your way out, and there's really not much anyone can do about it. If you are on point, if you get your turn in and everything correct, you do that for the next 20, 35 minutes, you just can't be overtaken. That's just the name of the game, folks. And Cook just showing us all how it's done here at the moment. A pillar of consistency. Well, I've called him that before tonight, and I've got a feeling I'm going to call him that again if he does not succumb to the commentator's curse that we are placing on him right now with all these nice comments. So we'll go and we can't really take the eyes off him here at the moment because it's all happening, and they're very close on circuit. Maybe Price is the next one to have a little dip here at Kobe Marshall in front, as you can see. But all three of these guys very evenly paced here at the moment, with the chef just holding them at bay in the in the cooker there under the heat lamps. And whenever the number is called, when the bell rings, it's your turn to take the dinner out to the table.
Yeah, no covers here at the moment for Chef. He's just cruising along. He knows what to do. He's got the kitchen under control so far. I don't know what his livery is. There's 3 X's versus, and then a 6 in the Roman numerals in front of him. Is that the old 6-incher in the bragging department there, Christopher? I'm not too sure. The old triple X 6-inch coming his way for the Chef. Or is that the amount of covers he's done in his lifetime? I'm not too sure. What is X? 10, 20, 30. 30 plus 6. 36 covers is his record. I would say there for the Chef to get himself into Hell's Kitchen, and he's done so nicely. He's got a blue flagger in his way here at the moment, so hopefully that guy gets out of the way very, very quickly. The erection is into the pits as well. He's going to stock up on the Viagra there and get himself back up into the points playing positions there, quite literally as well. 27 minutes gone out of this 60-minute, so we're nearly that halfway point, and it's looking very toey here because that blue flagger is not wanting to get out of the way, but he'll just maybe do it here into turn 1, we hope. No, he's not. In fact, goodness gracious me, this is going to hold the Chef up. Absolutely, he'll be flashing those lights. Now he gets out of the way, finally, just at the point of not there. The old vinegar stroke was about to happen there for the Chef, and he came out on top, luckily, but it's 4.5 tenths now. Just a bit of an error there, too, in the background. They've all sort of come wide. That blue flagger is just nowhere, and Price is wrong, just had to get checked up, and here comes the beer man onto his redemption drive. He has come back through the field. He was off in turn 7 turn 9, in fact, at lap 2, and he's found himself up in 50 already under the halfway mark. This man is on an absolute charge as the beer man, sinking pints left, right and centre per lap, and it's coming to fruition here, 0.1 behind the wheel.
On the performance-enhancing substances, and I've always said it, a couple of beers before a race, it calms your nerves. And
the Wheat Warrior.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually saw a scientific study. I don't know if it was peer-reviewed or whatnot, but the perfect amount of beers to have before you start a race is 2.5 if you consume 2.5 standard drinks before you go racing. That is kind of the crossover point of...
What about mid-race?
Mid-race? Well, yeah, it works there too because... actually, I don't know.
Is that 5 by the mid-race?
Well, you can have 5 by mid-race if you like. I used to do that as well. That's why I used to prefer the tracks that had a longer straight, because you had enough time to have a few little sips on the way down into turn 1 or whatever. But I think that you'd want to be drinking before the race, really, because when you're sitting there on the grid and the opening couple of laps, that's when your nerves are at most play. Once you get settled into a rhythm, there's no nerves at all, and you're off to the races, basically, literally. But I think, just a couple, 2.5 to be, in fact, before the start of the race. And I'm not being paid by the alcohol companies, however, mind you, folks. But if you do, in fact, own a pub in Brisbane and would like to get on board with a bit of a sponsorship here to Sensational TV, you know where the Discord is, down the bottom of your screen. Give us a like and subscribe as well if you haven't already on the video and the channel. Get involved, like the video, sub, and hit the bell for when we go racing next. Which is a fair bit lately, ladies and gentlemen. So any pubs out there that want to get involved, please do so.
Drink responsibly, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Never get behind the wheel in real life, over the limit for sure. And that is the beautiful way that we go sim racing, because it's all pretend. You're in your safe space of your home. The only person who's going to yell at you is the missus if you start slurring your words. Brace, Munro knows about that one. Oh, the old British pig there has had a mare coming out of Dandenong Road. Cairns is just trying to file his way back through. British pig just is going to let him go here, I reckon, too. Yeah, around the outside, trailer park girl style. Oh, full-on punterino. The British pig's bumper's just been flung off into Uranus, and he's into the absolute pits. He goes. He won't be too happy about that one with the British pig.
No
Cairns
way.
just thought he had the job done there and just sliced his way back through. And now he's just thinking about where he can go about it. But boy, oh boy, the old British pig is having an absolute what do you call them? Bloody, what's the McDonald's thing? What do they call those in the morning, Christopher?
Bacon and egg McMuffin.
Bacon and egg McMuffin of a time there. Holy mackerel. But in saying that, this guy on a charge, the younger of the Munro brothers, the brother of the man sitting next to me in the commentary box, Christopher Matt Munro, coming up into 16th place. Effectively here, he's trying to get 15th done off Serena Williams' long-lost cousin, and he gets that job done beautifully on a redemption drive himself too, after sending it out of turn 6 earlier in this race. Not the best place to be for him, but a top 10 could possibly be on here. Oh, in the background, there goes Williams 2 around. See you later. He's pirouetted himself, the old kangaroo there. Just met his match there with the 6'8", bare old Aussie. And he tried to claw his way and he couldn't get that job done. Now he's reversing back onto the field. You can't flick spin these cars. It's about as awkward as a horse with 2 legs. Like, he can give you the hot tip, one on the front, one on the back. But he's got that job done. And he's back to it. It's Luke Williams losing a lot of places there, and everyone else in form has gone through. Marshall is into the pits, though, to give a breathing space for that one as well. So he's out of that one in the top 4 position. Fallon is now leading this race, ladies and gentlemen, with the chef 10 seconds behind him. Duffy, 1.5 seconds. Marshall's in the pits. So is Nick Green there, by the looks of that. As soon as they go into the meterage, it says they're in the pits, ladies and gentlemen, but the timing tower not telling us that much at the moment, I would say. Unless he comes out of the pits now. No, he's just been done by the old putting green. And into 5th place goes Marshall, comes back out onto the field. Lovely. The British pig is on your screen, though, however. And he is got a front bumper replaced on that car. Comes back out in 18th place. And he won't be too happy about that one after the old Far North Queensland came through and said FNQ.
Yeah, well, yeah, you could use your imagination, folks, about what that means at home. But Brett Smith on the comeback trail after he slipped down the order somewhat. Minus 10 positions for him. We saw what happened to him, actually. He was going down through turn 6, 7 and 8 and absolutely spiraled into the outside wall. So he's on the comeback trail as well. We've got Bell behind him, just getting out of the way of Brittingham, who's on the lead lap still. Actually, yeah, where is Bell in the grand scheme of things? He's 8th position. Yeah, right. Still has not taken a stop, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, on your screen. The top 5 yet to come in and service their pit stops. Jeez, that looks a bit dangerous there from Lachlan Bell, just straight lining it down the hill section there, and we've seen what happens when you get a little bit too overzealous with the curbs down there in these kinds of vehicles. But the battle's on here. We got Price and Hamilton around the outside, who will be able to block. Oh, geez, a little bit of a push and shove there, hip and shoulder. I don't know, I'd be not too happy about that if I was Price. I'd be on the comms saying, I think he needs to give that position back, ladies and gentlemen. But they do have stewards here in this service, so they will be sorting that out. Don't you worry about that.
Well, we've got top 6 have not pitted yet. Top 5, sorry, have not pitted yet. From 6th down to 13th place have all done a pit stop, and then beyond it is 0s and 1s there. Oh, we'll get it back on the screen. Beautiful. So top 5, no stops. From 6th all the way down to 13th has made a stop now. Ding Dong has gone in as well too. Then the rest of the grid have done 1 or 2 stops themselves. Kyle Douglas, however, is still the only man not to serve a pit stop. A 109.8 for him on the last lap. That's fair old slow in the old pace department. But I'll tell you what, Dan Smith now is looking on the back here of Marshall. Marshall is yet to think about that man behind him. He's thinking about what he can do, but I'll tell you what, that apex speed there of that Mustang is so superior to that Ferrari of Marshall. He's going to be all over him like a rash there after a good old orgy on a Sunday. It's after 8:30, Chris.
Yeah.
And he's going to go try and trailer park early. No, he's gone up the inside. He's gone around the outside, gone back up the inside
Look
again.
at that.
And that's dummy, the old Marshall. Oh, he had absolutely shut himself there to the copper. Thought he was in a hot pursuit 2 game. And I'll tell you what, Smith and him are going 2 by 2 into the chicane. That never works out, but it somehow has. Goodness gracious me. That is enforcement there from Dan Smith. He does not give a rat's toss bag. That is Payrack in front of him, going very slow at the exit of turn 4. He's going to have to get out of this one. Is the old Payrack, because he's just lost a position there. He is right for position 2. He's in the pit stop strategy window as well. So he has lost that one all by himself. Dan Smith gets a P5. Easy as you like. Full enforce that move. Marshall won't be too happy about it, but geez, I'll tell you what, he did nothing but psychologically abuse him into turn 1, did Dan Smith, and said, I'll get you back this way, that way, whatever, and he's full on got the job done. P5 here for Dan Smith, starting off P1 in this race. And I'll tell you what, he's on the charge here. 36 minutes, in fact, just about gone in this one. We've got 24 to go until that timer ticks down. And boy, oh boy, is this starting to turn into a story here.
Oh, it certainly is. Yeah, I think the pit stop overall cost you about 30 seconds, so he's still about 6 or 7 seconds off the lead, going by my quick math here at the moment. So we're about halfway through, so we're going to see those top guys who have not pitted yet. That is the top 4 of Fallon, Cook, Duffy and Green. And Payratch as well, just behind Dan Smith at the moment. Those guys are in the top 6, have not served their pit stop, but I'm sure they will soon enough, because well, they need to really by the end of the go. But here's Duffy now lining up behind Cook, and we've seen how good Cook is under pressure, under defence, and we'll see if he can just serve up a bit more of that to the Duff man here with 24 minutes to go.
What's the pit stops, Christopher? I can't remember. Has Cookie come into the pits yet? We'll get that graphic back onto the board very quickly. He has not. So this is huge here. Duffman has not made a pit. Neither has the chef. Neither has Luke Fallon in front, or Green, who's just come into the pits now to make his stop. So he's filing down the grid. He's in 7th now. He will be done probably back out into 9th or 10th place by the time he comes through. So something to think about for the chef, all right, as we speak. He now needs to think about what the long game is. He's 37.25 into this race out of 60 minutes. It's time for him to come into the pits for sure. Those tyres will be as dead as a doornail at the end of this one. But the price is all right. Coming back through the field, he's got Hamilton in front of him. And I'll tell you what, at this pace, he's going to be all over him like a rag. I'll tell you that much. Literally at the background there too. That was a bad event there for one of the Mustangs in the foreground. I think that was May or Hutchins. I'm not too sure which one it was. But now Price has got a beautiful run. Can he get into the slipstream? He's 4/10 away. He didn't get the perfect exit there off turn 4. And now he's going to have to get into the suck. He's going to have to think about a move into Dandenong Road, or maybe just set him up onto the front straightaway here at Sandown Raceway. Before the price is wrong, I'll tell you what, at this moment, he'll know that he could be right up there within a P5 here if he gets past JJ Hamilton, who has had it all coming his way and going the other way too this time tonight, as we always have. He's always up there, is JJ. He's right there, but he sometimes just unforces errors himself out of a positional advantageous position, and he's just doing that now. Look at the slip angle. He just, and nearly a bumper scrape there, but it worked out for him. That's probably the way to go. Just get that car sliding, but not too early into this race. You want to do that sort of last 2-3 laps, because those tyres will be as hot as a gonorrhea patient. I can give you the hot tip.
Yeah, at least the downstairs department of the gonorrhea patient. That's for sure. A few little hot findings down there. That's for sure. But this is the closest battle on the track. Price just trying to find his way around JJ Hamilton. But as we've seen, both of these guys speedy customers indeed. It's one of those circuits very hard to overtake at. And how do you set up an overtake at Sandown Raceway? It's all about getting right up under the rear wing, I think, from about here all the way down through the downhill section into turn 9, make up the position there, or at least get maybe a little overlap out of turn 9 so you can position your car to the outside in that final chicane of turns, 11 and 12, I believe. Yeah, turns 11 and 12. If you can find yourself on the outside right there, you'll be able to just slot it up the inside and block past your way through on there. But look, Hamilton just giving the blue flagger a very much a hurry up indeed. But that's Douglas, I believe, in the Aston Martin, and I don't think he was too happy about that little exchange either. So just dipping back into the slipstream, and not happy indeed. But he's going to have to deal with Price coming up behind him now as well. So the follies of a blue flag, it never ends once you've once you go past 40 minutes in a race like this, as you can see on your top right hand side of your screens, customers. No one's paid me. Let's go. It's the it's the track map. As you can see, it's quite busy all the way around. So no clear air for anyone. And if you're a blue flag, you're constantly giving way to someone.
Well, a big thing to think about here is that 33-second gap between Dan Smith and Duff versus Cook battle. Look at this from Rogers. He's just trying to fight his way back through the field. He's got done there by Smith version 2. Ooh. And he'll be done. Nearly lost it there on the outside of turn 13. But 33 seconds and a half now is the gap between these two. Have yet to pit and Luke Fallon. So Luke Fallon's covered off by a pit stop here at the moment. But Dan Smith is coming, ladies and gentlemen. He's coming 10th by 10th. I can give you the hot tip. Second by second in the bedroom department. And maybe the old adage to him in terms of about where they're going to think about pitting for these boys is going to be right now. Is Duff going to blink first? Is Cook going to blink second? Or is it going to be the other way around? Who knows? But that 30-second cover off between the pit stop window is ever decreasing for these boys. So podium position is on for one of them. But at the moment, it looks like it could be the chef who comes out on top if Duffman can't get past him. Duffman is really pushing that Mustang. It is just dancing everywhere like a bloody tap dancer, Irish style here. He's full on just choosing all of the track limitations he can, pushing that Mustang to the nth degree. So is Cook in front of him too. So they're really pushing down. They can see that delta just start to decrease there, ever by 10th of a 10th. They know that pit strategy is going to come off. Payrack is into the pits there as well too from 5th place. So now Marshall's got a free go at him. Now it could be on here. These boys have got to start to think about it. We've only got 19 minutes left to go in this race. 18 minutes nearly, in fact, right now, between the end of this one. And these boys need to think about what they can do. Are those tyres are just about dead as a doornail, or is it just a long go? But 32 and a half seconds now is the gap. We've got to think about it here, boys. Get yourselves into the pits, because I'll tell you what, Smith is coming at a rate of knots.
Yeah, you can see the last lap here for Duffy. Oh, here goes Cook just peeling into the pits now. He's had enough. It's about time he comes in, serves his pit stop, and we'll see where he comes out in the grand scheme of things. It'll be very close between him and Dan Smith. Obviously, Smith just on the back end of the circuit here now. Where is he actually?
Pretty long road.
Yeah, just down the bottom there. So he's coming around to the start-finish straight. Let's just keep an eye on Cookie. He's now moving. He might even be out in front of Dan Smith here. It's going to be tight because Smith rounding the final turn and slingshotting his way down the front straight. Here's Cook.
Duff
we can
man.
see from back there, and he has. He's dipped him in the pits. Cookie comes out in third position as well, so only lost one in that little exchange, and now just needs to put the pedal to the metal. And by the time Duffy comes in as well, he should be back in, or at least stay in front of him. But it all comes down to that car in front of him, and if he can just sort of avoid him or stay behind, depending on the pace of the Duff man there, it's going to be very tight indeed when Duffy comes out of the pits.
Yeah, very good call there, Christopher. Duff is not going into the pits, mind you. So he is going around one more time for the big man. So he is now in P1 effectively. Fallon's dubbed it into the pits himself, 8 seconds and a bit in front. So he'll probably secure P1 here at this stage. But it's a big question over the chef versus the Duff man. And I'll tell you what, it's all on the Donkey Kong. But here with JJ Hamilton, he doesn't care about that. He's got Furby in front of him, thinking about which way he can take over that robotic doll in front of him in the purple, yellow, and black livery there, Luke Fallon style Porsche. But I'll tell you what, the erection's right in the way at the wrong time here too. He's right there with the need to get out of the way quick, smart. Because I tell you what, Furby will be absolutely flashing his lights if he doesn't do so very, very quickly here. Down the front straightaway, out of turn 13 we come. And it's going to be a good old slipstream here for Furby. He's got a good run there on the erection in Wayne Rogers. I'm pretty sure that is in front of him. He's not getting out of the way at any rate of knots here too now, so he's just too far away. But JJ Hamilton can sniff an opportunistic move into P6. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Look at that apex speed. Just got that car nosed in the Mustang. The Porsche's rear end is looking very, very tasty. Squirrely on the entrance there too. Goodness gracious me, in the fair dinkum department. This man in front has to get out of the way. He's their team orders. He does so right now. Now they're all coming together at a quick rate of knots. Hamilton there is right on his placker. I'll tell you what, Furby is there. The Price is Wrong is coming through in the background in the Tassie Devil livery machine as well. Wayne Rogers is not going to get out of the way. I think it's Wayne. I hope it is for sure. But look at that. JJ Hamilton just putting the pressure and the blowtorch on Furby here now. He can feel the pressure. We've only got 15 minutes left in this one, ladies and gentlemen. 14 and a bit laps to go. And it's all on the Donkey Kong over 6 and 7.
Yeah, nearly everyone has served their pit stop as well. Just waiting for the net race leader here at the moment in Duffy to peel into the pits. But I feel he's going to just wait until the very last minute now. But I don't know why you would do that, as you've got...
He's going to get me in fourth.
Yeah, he's just losing time out there at the moment. His last lap around was a 108 dead. Actually, no, looking at the timing tower, he was 2/10 quicker than Greg Cook, so maybe the overlap is the overcut is on. Here he goes now into the pit lane. We'll see what kind of stop he can get here from the pit crew. And we'll keep an eye on Cookie, because those two guys were neck and neck. Oh, look, that's why. He's been held up there by the McLaren. That McLaren just going flying off the end of the turn 9 down into the bunda. But I think that was probably enough there for Duffy to get moving and be in front of Cookie by the time he comes out. We'll find out. He's still not moving. Where's Cook? He's just peeling out onto the pit straight now. You can see him in the background there. I think Duffy's going to eclipse him here. He does. He has got the job done. That's an overcut, ladies and gentlemen. He is still on cold tyres, mind you. It will take about a lap for them to heat up, but that gap is about a 2-second one. So a very advantageous move there in the strategy department from the Duff team.
He's doing well here. 7 or 8 pints down, I reckon, by this stage as well. He is absolutely on song here. This is the pure racing alcohol department coming to fruition right in front of you for the beer man. He is right on song. He's got that lap cap traffic car in front of him who will be giving him a good old tow down that back straightaway. Gets out of the way nicely, though. Beautiful blue flag adherent rules there from that McLaren. There's Garth Duffy. Beautiful stuff. Into P2, 2 seconds down the road. Cold tyres, no worries about it. Unless he gets it stuffed up into Dandenong Road, he doesn't. Beautiful stuff. Gets it pulled up nicely there. The ABS working well on that GT3 machine. And he's going to skip out there. Oh, poor old Michael Budge here, though. He's had a shocker compared to his teammate. Guy Duffy's out in second place. And Budgie Smuggler is in 18th place at the moment. He chose the wrong day to go to Bondi Beach to give you the hot tip. That was just not the place where he wanted to be. He got the old Speedos out, put them on. Thought he was going to get the old latter sex come into his equation here tonight and get about top 10, I reckon, here. But 18th place is not the place he wants to be. However, he could take it off Erection V2 in Wayno, who is right in front of him, only 0.3 of a second down the road. And I think that's an invitation. Around the outside he goes. He's going to tip it in here, Bondi style. No, he's not. He's just going to send it up the inside if he can. No, Rogers has just got the beautiful defence move on there, and he's got held up there too. Goodness gracious me, Douglas is in front of this pack. This is a great little tussle here between 16, 17 and 18. You can see now the old Budgie Smuggler here is just trying to get in the slipstream down the front straightaway of Sandown Raceway. I'll tell you what, at the moment, Kyle Douglas is under all sorts of pressure from the erection behind him. Not the place he wants to be tapped on the shoulder in the turn 1. That was so close between the three of them there. Oh, another move there too. Beautiful stuff. Look at Rogers just trying to file his way back into 16th place. It's happening here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the final 12 minutes of the race, and it's all on the Donkey Kong for the minor positions. Beautiful, beautiful stuff, Christopher.
Yeah, nice little three-way tussle here between these guys. It's the battle for 16th, as you would. But it looks like Rogers does have the pace on him as well. But Kyle Douglas just defending to the end. And why wouldn't you? Only 12 minutes to go. So around about... 10 laps or so around this circuit. So, look at the closing speed there from Rogers right up behind him now. Let's ride on board. We can see the rear wing of that Aston Martin in front just getting bigger and bigger. Just shows the nose down there into turn 11. I don't know if that's the right spot for it, but what about the exit? This is going to be an overtake here into turn 1. He's already got just a slight overlap there on Douglas as well. Now slide drafting down the main straight. Let's get a wide camera angle here because the Mercedes is allowed to stretch its legs. Now it's just about spotting your marker, finding your apex, and look at Payrach just taking advantage of that little gap that opened up in front of him. He'll go straight through. He's just getting a lap back off himself, I'm pretty sure. Or no, he's actually coming through to take another lap off these gentlemen too. Oh no, there's Douglas has just binned it down there into the kitty litter, and he will see better days out there, folks. He's still in 18th. He's got a 37-second gap to Wade Georgeson behind him. So Guy will get back out on the field and remain in 18th position. But up in front, Cook has made his way in front of Duffy somehow. Oh, no, sorry. Duffy is behind Cook this time. No, that's Dan Smith, should I say. All these Mustangs are giving me a headache here at the moment. But now we get to see Cook defending hard for the last 10 minutes of this race.
Yeah, he's lost the position here, is the old chef. He's got second place gone from him, from the Duff man. So Duff man's had a beautiful overcut session, but now he's under all sorts because that man right behind him is very, very quick at the best of times and aggressive too. We've seen him early on this race in Dan Smith just power his way into an overtaking manoeuvre, and he's trying to set him up here for a beautiful run into the final chicane. Can't get that job done. That Porsche just beautiful on exit. The rear engine just putting power to the ground very, very early in that stanza. Over the inside curve they go. Round the outside of turn 13. Now it's a battle of horsepower here. I think Dan Smith's got a beautiful, beautiful run. He is right up his clacker now. It's all suck train here for Melbourne ladies of the night. Get yourselves tipped in down at Chapel Street. Give me the hot tip because Dan Smith's coming at a rate of knots. He's just showing the nose left, right and centre, trying to get up the inside. He's full on psychologically pushing the chef there into a disadvantageous move. Over the outside curve he goes. Gets that job done. Dan Smith still showing the nose everywhere at the moment.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, if you were in Red Revolver at Saturday night, I'll tell you what, the old nose would be on fire here for Dan Smith. He is absolutely sniffing a bit of the old cocaine here for a P2. Goodness gracious me, the P3, sorry. Dan Smith is putting the blowtorch on the chef. Marco Pierre White, eat your heart out.
Speaking of White, I'll tell dead set there'd be a few of the Class A. Yeah, a few of the Class A substances on the rear wing of that Porsche here at the moment because Dan Smith's nose. There he goes, just takes advantage of the door open, but here comes the switchback as well. Cook has the better traction now as well. Let's see from the top view. Cookie, he just gave it to him and says, here you go, mate. I'll send you up the inside, but I'll be right there for the switchback. Beautiful manoeuvre there. What about the awareness from the Porsche driver there? Greg Cook just putting another duck in the oven and says, thank you very much. We'll serve that up for Christmas dinner. Beautiful driving there, and we've seen it all day. He is on fire for driver of the day, in my opinion.
No, definitely there.
Well, we've lost Zach O'Reilly. He's just dropped his microphone.
I didn't drop it. I actually pushed the mute button with my lip. That's how close I am to the goddamn microphone. But look at these boys. I'm up out of my seat, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys aren't at home, I can give you the hot tip. This is on like Donkey Kong. This is for the final place on the podium at the moment here. We've got 7 minutes to go. 6.5 minutes, in fact, between the two of them. This is beautiful racing. Look at Dan Smith behind, the ever aggressor in this race. Had it all to win and lost it there early on in this race. He's putting all the blowtorches on. He's getting into the kitchen, in fact, there. Brendan Haxter style on the big man in front of him. Beautiful, beautiful driving from the both of them. Beautiful awareness. He knows the chef has got pace as Dan Smith, so he's giving him some respect, but he's trying to psychologically disadvantageous him into any defensive line, and he has done so there into the final chicane. Beautiful stuff there, but I'll tell you what, the chef has got a beautiful run out of turn 13, slaps it in through the gears. Dan Smith's just right there. He's not close enough here for an overtake. He'll go to the left, he'll go to the right just to show those rear vision mirrors full of a Castrol Mustang. Beautiful, beautiful stuff here from these three. They are absolutely on like Donkey Kong for this final stanza here of the race. And I'll tell you what, Dan Smith is just going for it. He thinks this is the grandstand finish. He's the place getter. He is the absolute championship leader here at the moment. He's just showing the nose there to the old chef, trying to dummy you into any sort of outbreaking maneuver he possibly can. But the chef is immune to all that. He's got Marco Pierre White's beautiful calm voice in his cockpit at the moment, just giving him the old crew chief establishment.
Dan Smith trying to Gordon Ramsay himself through yelling style, but the chef is holding up. Look at this into turn 6. Just beautiful, beautiful racing from these two.
Whoa.
Respect awareness. Oh, my goodness me. Dan Smith just tried to force the overtake and turn him around. He'll try to punt him back around too. And oh, my goodness me. Up to the old start-finish straight they go in the same position. Marshall will be looking at this going, how the hell am I only 2 seconds away from these boys now? He could be in for half a sniff. Dan Smith has been the aggressor all night, ladies and gentlemen. Just outweighed his ambition there, punted the old cook around. And I'll tell you what, that could be on like Donkey Kong if these two trade positions in the last 5.5 minutes of this one.
Yeah, we're going to go on board to see if there was any damage incurred from that little exchange there from both of these guys. Let's see what the cockpit here of Dan Smith. It looks to be pretty straight indeed.
Aero.
We'll go to Cookie, and it looks, yeah, that looks all right as well. Just certainly some aero damage though for both of those guys, but he just plowed into the side of that poor old Porsche. That's going to hurt him down the main straight, as if it wasn't bad enough with a Mustang trying to chase you down. Luckily, the straight here at Sandown is not that very long. I've just swallowed my own spit, ladies and gentlemen. It's all happening here in the commentary box. But Dan Smith just searching for a way around. This is the championship leader, folks. Greg Cook in second position. So big turns of the tide in the old championship points deciders. This is a Piastri Lando sort of stuff here at the moment. And I'll tell you what, Cook has not set a foot wrong all night. Dead set. He's on star for 3 Michelin stars here at the moment, and he's only got another 4.5 minutes to hold on, and he's just been doing such a beautiful job of it. I don't think there's much that Dan Smith can do apart from just wave the white flag and give him a little round of applause and say, mate, well done, great drive, good on you, son, you deserve P3.
Yeah, at this stage it's looking pretty good, but now the chef's gone to defensive mindset too early, I reckon. He just needs to stick to his racing line, because Dan Smith just needs half an invitation back up the clacker of him, and that's all that it will take. Look at that Mustang front bumper there. It is literally as cross-eyed as Steady Eddie here at the moment. Goodness gracious me. It is full on like Donkey Kong here. It's showing the nose left and right. Up the inside tries to Dan Smith. He's tried the late braking maneuver again. The chef is just going full defensive mode here. He's just putting the car half a car width too early onto the apex. That's going to invite Dan Smith, but Dan Smith can see that coming, so he's trying to do the old defensive masterclass here as the chef on the old covers. He's got 39 on his way at the moment, full under the pressure point motors. We've got 3.5 minutes to go in this one. It is on like Donkey Kong for the final podium positions. P1 and 2 is absolutely secured, barring an absolute disaster. Can the chef here hold on between the absolute masterclass of Dan Smith leading this championship? P1 and 2 in it, in fact. And they're going at it, just showing us how to go racing here. Smith's gone wide there. Chef's just apexed that beautifully and survived another one. It's 4.5 tenths of a second only between P2 and 3. 3 and 4, sorry. Goodness gracious me, in the fair dinkum department. Have these boys shown the rest of the racing world how to do it, how to redress a position with contact, and then also how to go defensive and attacking at the same time. And I'll tell you what, this man here is on the charge. He's trying to get back up to 6th place where he started this race. Just bumps the rear end there. There is a turnaround Aston Martin. Absolutely beautiful stuff to avoid those three that guy do. Goodness gracious me, in the fair dinkum department. But look at this. It's still on like Donkey Kong. Smith absolutely wants his P3. He doesn't care about the championship. He just wants a podium position to get onto the interviews here at Simsational TV for the Post Racer. 2.5 minutes to go, Christopher. This is on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah, and now enjoying the biggest gap that he's had in the past few laps. 4 tenths. That must seem like an absolute age there for Greg Cook. He can finally breathe out, blink a few times, take a little sip of water or whatever he's got. Turn the sausages, whatever he's got cooking there next to him on the old camp oven. I'm sure there's something going on, but he is now, 2 minutes to go. The last couple of laps here, ladies and gentlemen. We might see some desperation from the Mustang driver behind. The front of that thing is absolute. Look at how close he is there. You can see it's had more hits than Elvis on the front of that bloody Mustang as well. So he's not afraid to chuck it in there and have a bloody, let the sim racing gods decide. He's about less than a tenth here now. Whoa, very close down into turn 6. Just holding on as Cookie goes half defensive now. Dan Dan Smith looking for the inside or the outside late apex run down into turn 10 and 11. It's not going to happen because Cook's aware of it, goes half defensive, leaves his car where it needs to be. It's a half block pass, and he'll just take that outside run. And it's play on here for Sheep Stations, dead set in the fair income department.
New Zealanders here will be absolutely stroking themselves here, waiting for that vinegar stroke because there's on Sheep Stations here. We've got 2 laps to go here, ladies and gentlemen, keeping an eye on the front position. They cross the line with 58 minutes and 40-odd seconds left in this one, so we've got 2 more to go between these two absolute leviathans of the racetrack, P1 and 2 in the championship. It is reversed at the moment in the order, though. Dan Smith is just absolutely hounding him. Cook is just going defensive there. He doesn't need to. There is no move there, and he's rev as close as he can. I'll tell you what, there's more hits at the front end of that car for Elton John than he got blowjobs in his life. Look at that Mustang. It is 100% punted the wrong way. The gold erection there is full-on bent, and it's all under Cook's pressure here at the moment. He's just got to put the brakes on a bit early. Here is Dan Smith applying the pressure again. A little bit wide there from the old Cook there. Oh, Smith is all crossed up too into Dandenong Road. Smith knows he's got the job done. Another 3/10 advantage here for him into coming to the final 2 corners of the racetrack. Then, so I'll tell you what, Luke Fallon thinks he's won the race here. He's just trusting the lights as he comes across the line. It hasn't happened yet, son. Keep going, me old dear friend. You've got 1 more lap to go with 4 seconds left. These boys have still got 1 more transverse of the Sandown circuit to go. In fact, I think it is a bit over, actually. Christopher Munro,
one more lap. One more lap.
No.
Yep, 1 more lap to go. That was the white flag being yielded there from the track marshal through the start-finish box, and now it's 3/10 the difference between Cook and Smith here. Oh, there's a blue flag just coming at the worst possible time. Here goes Smith, and he's just outbraked himself down there through turn 3 and needs to just redress that position. Can't take advantage through there, and that will be the end of that little battle there. I think 5/10 the difference is too much of a hill for him to climb, but Luke Fallon has had the race gifted to him at the front there from, I think it was a mistake from Dan Smith very early, and that just let Luke Fallon right there into the lead, and he will take the victory here in round 7. The 60-minute race goes to Luke Fallon. He had a week off there. He's come back fresh with new gear, new head on the shoulders, and takes a new P1 trophy for the cabinet.
Beautiful stuff there from Luke Fallon. Drove the most consistent out of everyone, and that is what you get. You're consistent, you're up the front 3, and that is what you get. You get a race win. Duffman, the bold beer fella, gets 2nd place. Cooked held on to 3rd place over Dan Smith, 1.2 seconds. The difference between those two after an absolute fiery final stanza there from those two in P3 and 4. Marshall gets 5th place, only half a second, mind you, behind Dan Smith after those two were battling as well. Hamilton, 6th place. Furby, 6/10 behind him, gets 7th. The price is wrong, gets 7th place. Jake DeBetter did a great job and actually did better in this one. Gets himself further up the grid than where he started, into 9th place. And Ding Dong gets 10th with Smith, Brittingham, Rogers, Green and Budgie rounding out that top 15 for that one, Christopher. That was a 60 minutes to remember.
Oh, it certainly was. And that battle for the ages there at the end between Cook and Smith. You don't get... Whoa, geez, I don't know who that was, just applying the blowtorch back down there into the fence. But wowee, folks, if you are not entertained, I don't know what is going to get you people off your seats at home. We are joined in the commentary box, though, right now by the race winner, ladies and gentlemen, Luke Fallon. You had a little week off in the rain, but you seem to be back and fighting fresh with a P1.
Woo! Come on!
Hey,
let's go!
He's happy with that one. It was
beautiful stuff.
I tell you what, it was.
Oh no!
Oh no!
I pulled my headset out. Hold on.
No, we can still hear you. He probably can't hear us.
He can't hear us, yeah.
Maybe when he gets that pulled back in.
Here we go. There we go. Sorry, I can hear you now.
He's back in the box, ladies and gentlemen. After being gifted the lead there by Dan Smith as well in the early stages, we saw him come a guts it down at the bottom of the hill there at Dandenong Road, turn 9. Did you fancy your chances there? And I suppose you just started to turn the screws, and it was a fairly big gap by the end of the race.
Oh yeah, for sure. I did. As soon as I saw that, everyone in the box would vouch. I was very, very happy to say the least. But I couldn't get too excited because he is my teammate this weekend in a different race, so I didn't want didn't want to come on the mic and give him all of it, but yeah, it seemed to yeah, like you say, it did get gifted to me a little bit there, but I was happy that I managed to keep my pace out the front for the rest of the race.
Yeah, that's right. You didn't return the favour to him at all. But now you're on the broadcast, mate. You're free to give him all the clap you want. So we'll give you 5 seconds to give it to him.
You can't park there, my friend. There is a wall. You just cannot park there, Dan.
Well, he will hear that. I can give you the hot tip. He will absolutely hear that one for sure. He had to settle for fourth place at Dan Smith tonight. But speaking of a man who did park it there too, the beer man, as we like to call him, Garth Duffy, had a bit of a misdemeanor there early on in the race, mate. But Jesus, you absolutely charged your way back through the field. Boy, oh boy, in the fair dinkum department of P2, you'll be absolutely stoked as a goat with that one.
Yeah, no, sure thing. I thought I was going to come out a lot worse than that. When I dropped it, I thought that was my race over, and I even pondered whether to come in and do the fast repair immediately, but I did a lap or two, and the car felt good, so I thought I'll just keep going around and see where I end up. And a few people dropped off the road in front of me, including Dan Smith, as you were just discussing. And yeah, managed to get back to second, so pretty happy with that.
Mate, it was sensational to say the least. Beautiful, beautiful racing from you. The Mustang was on fire. We could see that between yourself and Dan Smith there too, early on in the stanza and at the final closing ones as well. But the biggest hats off has to go to the one we call the chef. And that is an absolute fantastic result there, Gregory. That was beautiful stuff from you, mate. Defending off the quickest man on the racetrack the whole season, and you did it in beautiful style, mate. A little bit of a punterino there, but he did the right thing, redressed that position, turned you back around. How'd you feel after that one?
Well, I was practically shitting myself those last few laps with Dan behind me, but yeah, I managed to keep him behind. I did drop a bit of the wing, so people couldn't get past me on the straights, but I was a bit of a sitting duck in the corners. But yeah, it's a shame that our battle ended with a bit of contact, but yeah, it's racing, it happens. We're both trying to go for the same bit of road, and yeah, he did the right thing.
Yeah, it was a battle of the bloody Leviathans there, I'll tell you what. And even in the early half of the race, the first stint, where there was about 6 or 7 cars parked up behind you as well, you were just focused on hitting your apexes and exits, and there was really nothing that any of those guys could do behind. We saw actually a few early pit stops as well, one of which was Dan Smith, and they just tried to pit out of there and try to find some clear air. It didn't end up happening for Smithy. But I'll tell you what, when you and Duffy were battling as well, just before the pit stops, we saw Duff come in. Sorry, we saw you come in early, and Duff stayed out and ended up overcutting you as well. Were you surprised that the overcut worked here at Sandown?
Yeah, I was surprised because my crew chief was saying, oh, the car in front's pitting and he'll come out slightly behind you. But he came up a second and a half up the road. So I'm like, what's going on here? My crew chief is lying to me. And then, yeah, obviously I had Dan Smith hunting me as well. So it was a bit nerve-wracking in those last few laps, but yeah, I did my best.
Yeah, I think it just came down to a little bit of traffic. We saw you copped just a little bit on your outlap and the preceding laps after that. And I think Duffman just pretty much picked his spot perfectly, came out and, well, actually, once you came into the pits, he had clear air to turn the screws, and that was all she wrote. But would have loved to see the battle go all the way down to the wire. In the end, we got it anyway with Smitho coming in, and it was certainly a spectacle to behold, Zach O'Reilly. Have you got any questions for the boys?
Yeah, I got a massive one.
Excellent.
The chef. We have the age-old debate throughout the whole series about that Porsche and how pendulum effective it can be. You've struggled at certain tracks. You've come to grips to the car at other tracks. Tell me, where has this pace come from, mate? Give us a little bit of a rundown. Don't have to give us any secrets, but just give us a rundown on how you're handling that Porsche to the nth degree, being second in the championship now.
I honestly don't know where this pace come from in the last week, but I usually race the supercar around Sandown. I seem to struggle, but tonight was just one of those nights where it was interesting, but yeah, I think the Porsche is starting to grow on me, and yeah, I'm just finding pace week in, week out.
It's been bloody unbelievable to see that Porsche just go through its realms and strengths and weaknesses. Yep, Spa was a little bit hairy for a lot of drivers. The old tank slappers came through, as well as Zandvoort there in the wet too. But full hats off to you, mate. Really, really well job. Really well done job, if I can speak correctly. But I've got a question for the beer man. Blendline TV, mate. Are you involved in that one, or are we just sponsored by yours truly, or what's going on?
I am not directly involved, no, but I am mates with the guy who runs it. So I am good friends with Dan Beckinsale. In fact, a bunch of us who came to this league together, and that includes Dan Smith, well, both Smiths, Dan Smith, Brett Smith, Michael Budge, Colby when he races. We all are friends because we met through Dan and the kind of the Discord league that he started during COVID. So that's kind of the link back to that. And I think Dan has actually registered to run, but he's got a bit on. He just had his first son last week, so he's got a few other things on his plate at the moment.
Well, congratulations to him.
Put in a good word for the bozzer.
Yeah, absolutely. You might have to hit up your mates there at BLTV and say a very, very warm welcome to our commentator at Sensational TV, Lindsay Muddle, who will be commentating the Formula Fours for next year. Every race.
Yeah,
So he's right there too.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Excellent. Lindsay Muddle out there representing. He'll just be kicking off his stream actually as well on Sensational TV with the Far Gone Racing League as well and ACC over there. So we'll get more GT3 action coming your way if you're up for it, ladies and gentlemen. But I think it's time that we retire this car into the pit lane for once tonight. Zach O'Reilly, what do you think about that?
All for it, Christopher Munro's. Love it. As much as I love commentating and being part of it with you and all of our guys out there tonight, it is always the end of the line at some stage, and that is now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for everyone tuning in tonight to the Aussie Sim Racing GT3 Challenge every Tuesday coming your way. I'll tell you what, the racing is unbelievable, and we've just been shown another example of that tonight here. Congratulations to Fallon, Duff, and Cook, who have got the P1, 2 and 3 respectively. Well done to you, boys. Thank you to our sponsors here at Sensational TV as well. Bilco Pack, ARD Importing, Speed Nation, and Simulator Driver Training at sdt.com.au. You guys are all there for us. And our Patreon supporters every month as well. You know who you are. Our guys involved in the chat. And to everyone at Aussie Sim Racing for putting this event on as well. It's been a pleasure. But for now, it's a sign-off time, and Christopher Munro puts the M in magnificent, as he would always like to say.
Sure do.
And I've been Zach O'Reilly. Guess what? You're not, and you never will be. But it's been a Sensational TV broadcast production here tonight, live from Aussie Sim Racing. Lindsay Muddle's up next for Far Gone Racing's GT4 Challenge. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, for us two in the commentary box here at Sandown Raceway, it is goodbye, good evening, and good night. And as always, keep it flat out.
Sensational TV YouTube channel. Don't fucking miss it.